The second tense is past simple tense after we complete present simple tense, which is the can be used as a mind map for studying other tense. Number one we study is about main verb which was classified, which is classified into four forms, and then auxiliary verbs also help. If you don't clearly understand what I explained before, please check from the clip that expressing about verb, both main verb and auxiliary verb, especially for verb to be, verb to have, and verb to do. Checking this tense from newspaper, Thailand lock ed. New case, Thailand lock. If you have any problems about the meanings of the word, please check from dictionary, and at the same time you have to be sure that the word you check is the correct part of speech used in the sentence. For example, lock here ed plus ed, it means that past simple tense because this one is extract from past form of verb that we see from the right hand, verb 1, verb 2, and verb 3. This one is here. So when we use number 2, tense number 2, when we use subject plus verb 2 or past form, that is past simple tense. No auxiliary verb. No auxiliary verb. That is past simple tense. The similarity between past simple tense and present simple tense is the structure of the sentence. Subject plus verb. No helping verb. No other verbs concerned. Subject plus subject plus main verb. If subject plus simple form of verb, that is present simple tense. If subject plus past form of verb, that is past simple tense. That's all. So both can be used in the different, only the time used, and at the same time the time word also different, and the verb, auxiliary verb that help for forming interrogative sentence and negative sentence comes from the same group of present simple tense, that is verb to be, verb to do, and do, does, and did. That's why these two tenses are quite similar, as I bring it first before present continuous tense for explanation over here. Past simple tense, simple past tense formed by adding ed with regular verbs indicates that a complete action happened in the past at a specific time. So verb I show you over here show two kinds of forming, two ways of forming main verbs into four forms. The first one is regular verb by adding ed at the end of most of the verbs in the world. And for example, identify ed, identifying, classify, etc. Modify, whatever, economize, ed at the end of these kinds of verbs. But at the same time 140 or 50 words, 140 and 50 words probably, verbs probably change from verb 1 to verb 2 and 3 in different ways. For example, eat, ate, the first one, eat, ate, eaten, write, wrote, written, drink, drank, drunk. Maybe sometimes the same word is used in three forms. For example, cut, cutting, shut, shutting. We call all of these, which is not forming verb 2 and verb 3 in the normal form, in regular form, by adding ed at the end of verb when transforming from verb 1 to verb 2 and verb 3. is, we call this is irregular verb. So there are two kinds of verb. Number one is regular verb. Number two is irregular verb, as I show you over here. Two kinds of verb. Okay. So number two, we use the words. We use the structure subject plus verb, as I mentioned earlier. That's the sentence that can be changed into passive voice must consist of at least three parts. The first one is subject here. The first one is subject. The second one is verb and verb, subject, verb. This one is past form of verb, no auxiliary verb, help, nothing. That is past simple tense. And remember that verb mentioned above here can be used, the verb 2 and verb 3, verb 2, only verb 2 can be used with every subject, any subject. Singular subject and plural subject can be used. And at the same time, passive voice, active voice, the sentence that can be transferred to change to passive voice requires subject, verb, and object. Here, three forms. I think I explained before, but not quite clear. That's why let me explain one more time. Maybe I forgot what I explained before, but in this, when I explain the structure here, the tree diagram, I also show both examples for each tense, active voice and passive voice, but not delving into, digging into the details. That's why past simple tense, how to use past simple tense. Past simple tense indicates that a complete action happened in the past at a specific time. Using verb 2 as main verb from the Bangkok Post. This one is passive voice, and this one is active voice. This one is active voice, verb 2. What about this? This one is passive voice, all about past simple tense. Let me go on by telling about action, completed action happened, which was happened in the past. This is past simple tense. The structure of this tense consists of, let me divide the tense, the paper into two parts. The first one is for active voice and the second one is for passive voice. Left hand side is active voice. The structure of active voice is not quite different from present simple tense. Active voice, subject plus verb 2. Verb 2 can be used with every, this one is passive voice, every tense. Verb 2 can be used with every subject. Making mistake again and again. Active voice, tense, and passive voice. And then when we change active voice into passive voice, object will become subject of passive voice. Is subject plus was, were. The regular, the compulsory parts of passive voice, the compulsory parts of passive voice are be plus verb 3. That's why from active voice, subject plus verb 2, there is no is, am, are, was, were. When we turn to passive voice, we have to bring was, were was, were into the sentence like this. But this tense is only past simple tense. Remember that. Only past simple tense, nothing more. Was, were, past form of verb to be simple form, base form. Was, were, past form or past simple form. and being perfect form or past participle form, and then being gerund form or present participle form, whatever names names they called this kind of verbs in four forms. That's why I said verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, and verb 4 quite easy for us to understand the foreign language. English is a foreign language. That's why. So subject plus verb 2 was verb plus verb, change verb 2 into verb 3 before we maybe object if necessary, and by over here plus subject, but subject will become object in this sentence. Remember the structure also when you see it. To die is past tense, past simple tense, already die and visit Lucifer or visit the heaven, nobody knows. Before they are admitted, die before the doctors admitted. Oh, poor indeed. Elderly people accounted for 66% of the new deaths. 66% of deaths are elderly people. Elderly is adjective, people. And to die before, just taking the victim, not victim, the patients to the hospital, but the doctor not yet admitted, receive them to the hospital, they die. That is very, very sad incidents happening in the during COVID-19. Various stories can be told during COVID-19. Some drawn with the family members to escape from the economic and health sufferings. Suffering. That's why they're escaping from, especially for death, illegal death, illegal. What do you say? Illegal, out of the system, debt. That's why people cannot live life as normal because they have no work to do. You can read from the newspaper every day about this. When people die, at least 200 and 300 die each day. 226 new fatality death like this were 21 to 98 years old. People die, and includes verb 2 also. Past simple tense is already happened. This is past simple tense to not verb 3, and link between two subjects, fatalities, were and fatality, include 8 Myanmar, Myanmar people die, and 1 Cambodian, 1 Chinese also. Elderly people account for 66% of the new deaths. 2 die just before the doctor received to the hospital. That's why in Pathum Thani Plum, sad stories happen like this. But we don't concern to the story like this. We just feel our sadness and mourning and sometimes sorry for the relatives and so. But at the same time, we study the incident like this. This is unavoidable. That's why we have to use past simple tense. Past simple tense, there are 2 forms of past simple tense. The first one is to die before they were, to die. In this sentence, 2 sentences. This is main verb, to die, main verb. Before they were admitted to hospital in Pathum Thani. The second one is past simple tense too, but it is in the passive form. What I am explaining, the incident already completely happened in the past and already completed a few days, maybe many hours ago, etc. But it is in the past, as we know. The first one, we know that to die, can we change to die into passive form? No, we can't use to dies into passive form because die is a verb that not necessarily to have object. That's why, what did you call in English? No subject. That's why sleep, no subject. Oh, I forgot the word again. But never mind. Let's see that some verbs do not require, do not need objects at the end, like sleep, like walk, like die, etc. No try, also cry, no object. Those have no objects cannot be changed into passive form. Active form can be used. That's all. To die is active form. But the first one is patients, human beings, but were done, were discharged from hospital after recovering. 19, these numbers of the patients stay in hospital for sometimes for the short period, maybe long periods of time, but after recovering, feel better, the doctor have to clear the beds, hospital beds for the serious conditioned patients. That's why they can go home. The numbers of patients returning home is more than the numbers of the COVID-19 new case. That is a very good trend for the country. And at the same time, some passive voice use, some active voice use, depends on concentrate the speaker or the writer concentrate on the doer or the object of the sentence. That's all. For example, subject plus verb 2, we see here the fireman pulled the hose across the street. And the fireman, let me use the example from my book here. The fireman, the man who stopped fire, pull, ed here. Most of past form of verbs form from adding ed at the end of verb, but not all of them. Remember that the hose, not horse, hose, across the street, across the street, the street. The firefighter tried to seize the fire. That's why John bought a new boat. Dear Mr. Dear, my friends, bought a new boat. Bought a new boat. Be from a new coat. Sorry, not boat. A new coat. Never mind. Whatever I write, correct. A new coat. All of these are two sentences. All of these are active voice because the subject done the objects, done to the objects by themselves. The fireman pulled the hose across the street to that street. That's why plug with the tank or something else. That's why the big water gate, big water gate, to open the water gate and then fire sees the fire in the building, probably like that. And at the same time, subject, any subjects, Dale and his friends. Maybe Dale, maybe we don't use Dale, we use children, children or people, people like this, people, someone, someone is. I would like to change from singular subject to plural subject. So fireman is a singular subject. When we change to passive voice, we have to find out which one is object of the sentence, and then this one is the subject of the sentence. Only this. So the object will be moved to be the subject of passive voice, the host. Now concentrate on. If your supervisor asks, your superior asks you, where is the host? And the host is the host was pulled across the street. Maybe sometimes not mentioning the names of the person who pulled it across the street. That's why we concentrate on, because they ask the host. We don't ask who pulled the horse across the street. If they ask who pulled the horse across the street, active voice is necessary. But if they don't ask that, they ask the horse, we have to say in the passive form, probably more suitable than active form. The horse not across the street. And this one will be a new quote, only one quote for somebody, but I don't write it. That's why the first one, and then this one, the sentence, the sentence transfer from past simple tense. How do we know this is a past simple tense sentence? We know because subject plus past form of verb, like subject plus verb to That's why. And object also here. We know this one. Subject, any subject plus verb to whenever you use in your life. I spoke English. I met Mr. Deer at school yesterday. My mother sent me a letter. And my girlfriend sent me a lovely message last night. Whatever, like this. Whatever. And then we use was were as the compulsory criteria, compulsory. If we put horses here, let's see, horses here, this one will be were. Okay, one person pull many horses, but exactly one horse, but sometimes horse, some horse. So were and was, I just want to use for to be the example for all of us. So this is passive voice and active voice together. And I show you the active. This is not quite voice the same as before. Very sorry. And before we have to change active voice into interrogative sentence, etc. Then I will go to interrogative sentence and negative sentence to later. Let me explain passive voice first. Very sorry for jumping to the final process as present simple tense. The horse were, and then we bring this one. You have to note down by yourself the verb that the verb by board that put ed at the end of verb 2. Verb 3 will be the same. Okay. The horse were pulled across, keep here, okay, better, across the street. And this one is a new coat was bought. Maybe yesterday or last night. People, we don't use by people. We don't use that. People will be deleted. Everyone will be deleted because it's not mentioned about the public, the crowd. A new coat was bought last night. Better. Yesterday. The new coat was bought for somebody else. Okay. The first one is the horses were pulled across the street. This one can be used by the fireman. This is passive form that will be used. And the translation also will be different. This one, this charge. Patient discharge means the doctor free them. Let's go home because your conditions are much better. Recovering. Again, significantly more than those. Nares is more than this. Diagnosed with coronavirus. Diagnose means the doctor check this one. The doctor check the people conditions. Test it maybe with the antigen test kit or maybe by the doctor test by themselves. Myanmar, okay, this is I already done it by translating it into English for you. So this one is the form we change into passive voice. Remember, this form is a passive voice form of past simple tense. This form is active voice of past simple tense. Verb 2 can be used with any subject, and at the same time passive voice be means was were will be used according to the new subject here, subject from object of the sentence before active voice. But we don't mention the names of the sentence because when we see in the newspaper and the book, we didn't see the original one or the active form. We see only passive form, but we have to learn how to translate it, how to understand it, who did this incidents. Next one will be about the interrogative sentence and how to use verb to do as auxiliary verb by changing active voice into interrogative sentence and negative sentence as present simple tense, now past simple tense. Waiting for a few minutes.